Dear students and viewers, welcome to New English Classes by Akinshar. Dear students, now we are going to study or discuss the poem The Tree of Cbse Class X, means Standard 10 poem, The Trees. Dear students, the tree is just an example, and pictorial imagery has been created by the poet through this poem. Dear students, that we have known that now the outside forest is empty, but now we the people like very much to create the forest inside our house, making and trying to grow many types of trees inside our house to make as if artificial forest in our house covering many types of trees. But whereas we are destroying the same forest outside to make our houses. But now the situation has come. We, the human being, always try to make ourselves comfort, creating, preparing, or nurturing the forest in our own house. But to decorate our houses, to decorate our area, our coverings, our abodes. Whereas for the same, we are destroying the forest, outside the forest. Now the poet brings an imagery here that the trees from the houses are now moving to outside of the house. I mean, to rebirth of the outside forest. I mean, the trees from the houses will go out and live there, being or remaining as the outside wall. I mean, outside forest. Let us study. It's the imagery of the poet. Just an imagine. Really not happens like that. No trees move from the house to the outside. No doubt it is very sure that we have already destroyed our outside wall, especially the forest, to make our house, to decorate our house perfectly, and as if we are creating artificial forest inside our house. Let us study the poem. They can understand what happens actually. In the opinion of the poet, what the imagine of the poet. In the imagination of the poet, it happens like that. The trees from our house moves towards the outside world. I mean, they are living there and will create the same outside forest. They don't want as if to live inside the house. They want to live in the forest. Means they will remain there, being the natural forest, outside the forest. Let us study the text. You can better understand what is the imagination of the poet, what does the poet says here. The students आम जानीचे जे आम मनुष्य मैंने स्वार्थपर पाली छाड़े बाह्य जगतर जो गछलता कहूँ आम जंगल रही संपूर्ण काटी सारीचे केवल आम घर को सजाइवाई आम घर को सजाइवाई आम प्राकृतिक जंगल सृष्टि करने लगे किंतु बाहर जंगल को आम काटी सफा कर सारीचे पुणी से घर को सजाड़ापी जो घरे आम नूतन भाव में फरेस्ट व जंगल सृष्टि करने चेष्टा कर चलीचे बाहर जंगल को काटुचे आम निज घर को सजाइवाई आई घर सजाइवाई आम आर्टिफिशियल जंगल सृष्टि कर चलीचे बास ये थिला कवितार सारांश दिन समय आसीबो कवि भाषा दिन समय आसीबो आम घरे बढ़ी सबू गछ कहीं भी घरे रही समस्ते बाहर को पलि जाए पुणी से प्राकृतिक जंगल सृष्टि हाँपाई कौटी से पुणी बाहर रहे घर भितर नुहे लेट स्टडी द टेक्स्ट आम टेक्स्ट ही कभर करना देखा टेक्स्ट कौन द पोएट लिखिछंती लेट्स रीड द टेक्स्ट The trees inside are moving out in the forest. In the opinion of the poet, what does the poet say here? The trees inside are moving out in the forest. I mean, the trees of her house are moving towards the outside. As if they don't want, I mean, the trees don't want to stay in the house. Rather, they want to go outside the house and live and remain there. And to be the natural forest there. They don't even want to stay at home. Rather, they want to outside. They want to go outside and to remain there. To be the part of the natural world. I mean, natural forest. The forest that was empty all these days, where no bird could sit, no insect hide. I mean, The trees of his house and the poet's house are moving to outside to remain there, to be the part of the natural forest. Where are they going? Where are the trees of the poet are going? The forest that was empty all these days. I mean, the empty forest, there was no trees at all. So the trees of the poet's house are moving towards outside to remain there to the part of the natural forest where no birds could sit. The forest, as there is no trees, so there is no place for the bird to sit there, to make, to sing there, to play there, make merry there, because the trees are not there. The natural forest is already empty. There is no tree at all. So there is no place, no boughs, no branches for the birds to sit and quit there. Where no birds could sit, no insect hide. There is no trees, no birds to sit, find any branch to sit. No insect even if try to hide themselves inside the branches of the tree. No sun bury its feet in its shadow. No sun, I mean the sun ray through the shadows of the tree never come to down root of the tree. Just think about. As there is no trees, there is no branches and no leaves. That means that the rays of the sun directly hit the ground. If there are trees, there were trees, the beams, the sunbeams through the branches of the shadow of the trees, they comes to the, try to come to the root. I mean, the sun rays. The forest that was empty all these days where no birds could sit, no insect hide, no sun buried its feet in its shadow. I mean, there is no tree, so no branches, no shadow. So there is not a playing of the sunbeams through the shadow, through the branches of the tree. I mean, there is no place to hide the feet. I mean, the sunbeams never hide that hit directly to the ground because there is no trees. It's just like a game because the sun ray through the branches of the tree, I mean the shadow that try to come to the root, to the ground, but that never comes because due to the branches, due to the shadow of the tree, because there is no tree, so there is no place for the sun to have the play like that. I mean the sun rays directly come, so there is no place for to play there, to hide its fate. I mean, normally the sun rays come direct to hit the ground because there is no tree at all. So there is no game also. The forest that was empty all these nights. The forest that was empty all these nights nowadays, all these nights, because there was no forest at all in the outside of the house. So the forest is totally empty. There is no tree at all. Will be full of trees by morning. By the morning, the forest will be full of trees. His opinion is the imagination of the poet because he thinks that the trees from his house are moving towards the outside to be the part of the natural forest. As there is no forest, there is no trees, outside trees, and forest is totally destroyed. So there is no trees at all. I mean only empty forest. I mean maybe the barren trees. Maybe the barren, if the trees are there, maybe barren, totally is there, nothing at all. So in the morning it will be full of trees. The forest will be full of trees. I mean it will be the part of natural forest because all the trees from the house will move towards the outside to be the part of to be the natural forest outside the house. କବିଙ୍କ ଭାଷାରେ ଦେଖାଯାଉଛି କି ତାଙ୍କ ଘରର ସବୁ ଗଛ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଡ୍ରିଜ୍ ଆର୍ ଇନସାଇଡ୍ ମୁଭିଂ ଇନ୍ ଦ ଫରେଷ୍ଟ. ତାଙ୍କ ଘରର ସବୁ ଗଛ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଆସ୍ତେ ଆସ୍ତେ ଫରେଷ୍ଟ ଆଡ଼କୁ ମୁଭ୍ କରି ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି. ଜୁ ଫରେଷ୍ଟ କି ଦ ଫରେଷ୍ଟ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ୱାଜ୍ ଏମ୍ପ୍ଟି ଅଲ୍ ଦି ଡେଜ୍, ଯେଉଁଟାକି ଆଜିକାଲି ସମ୍ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଗଛ ଶୂନ୍ୟ ହୋଇପଡ଼ିଛି. କୌଣସି ଗୋଟିଏ ଗଛ ମଧ୍ୟ ନାହିଁ ଯେଉଁଠିକି नो बार्ड्स कुड सीट जोटाकि पक्षीटे मत बसिया जगह ना. इनसेक्ट मैंने मत हाइट बा लुचि पारु ना. सन मत लुचखाली खेल खेलु ना. छाई आलोर खेल सन खेली पारु ना. जू फॉरेस्ट दैट वाज एम्प्टी ऑल दीज नाइट्स, राति सारा संपूर्ण एम्प्टी थिला, किछि भी गोटे गछ नथिला. बट नाउ विल बी फुल ऑफ ट्रीज बाय मॉर्निंग. कि सकाळ पहला बेलू संपूर्ण फॉरेस्ट पूर्ण हो जाइथिबा गछरे, माने सबु गछ घर भितर थिबा सबु गछ सते जेमिति सकाळ पहला बेलू जंगल को चली जाइथिबे. All night, the roots walk to disengage themselves from the cracks in the veranda floor. All night long, the whole night, the roots of the trees are walking to disengage, to get free themselves through from the cracks. Through the cracks in the veranda floor. There is a crack in the veranda. And the roots there are whole night trying to move through the cracks to go outside. To go outside, the roots disengage themselves. The roots of the trees are trying to get free from through the cracks of the veranda to go outside. The leaves strain toward the grass, toward the glass, small twigs stiff and exertion, lung cramped boughs, shuffling under the roof like newly discharged patients, half-dazed, moving to the clinic doors. The leaves strain toward the glass. The leaves are getting lot of pressure, taking lot of work. They are getting lot of pressure to go towards the glass panes of the house, or they are hitting the glass panes. There, so it is there as if they are straining themselves toward the glass. Toward the glass means the glass panes of the window, the doors, the walls. The trees are getting more strained because they are trying to moving. Lot of effort they are making. Strain means lot of effort. Lot of effort. They are the leaves of the trees are making lot of effort to go towards the glass panes of the house or windows or doors or the walls. So they are making lots of efforts to go outside through these glass panes, through the window, through the walls, but all these are glass panes. So that they are taking lot of efforts to go outside. Small twigs stiff with exertion. Small twigs, small branches. The topmost part of the branch, a branch. Twigs means the topmost part of the branch. That is stiff. Stiff means hard. With exertion means being more pressured. The small twigs are really getting hard due to small pressures because they are trying to continuously go outside of the house. So they are facing a lot of problems. They are getting tired. They are straining themselves as they are hitting the glass panes. Also they are steep, very hard due to heavy pressures. Long cramped boughs shuffling under the roof. Long cramped boughs. Cramped boughs means the sunken boughs, bending boughs, are they are unable to move because there is roof and walls of the house. They are hitting themselves, so they are not moving directly. They are not going to up because there is a roof is there. So they are sunken. They are bending themselves, not moving perfectly towards go anywhere, to up or to down. They are rather just moving. They are not going outside of the house because they are trying. Though they are trying hard to go outside of the house, they could not because the roof is there. So they are sunken boughs, shuffling under the roof. Shuffling means to walk slowly, dragging feet. To walk without raising feet. Shuffling under the roof, yes, under the roof they are shuffling because they are unable to move perfectly. They are walking, they are moving without raising their feet. They are just moving, but they are unable to move freely because the roof is there. So they are bending, they are sunken. Just think about, like newly discharged patients, the poet has compared them with the newly discharged patients, as if a patient is discharged from the clinic or hospital, and when he walks, the walks of the patient seems like the dodging stage, half sleeping stage, half dodged, moving to the clinic doors, as if a patient just recently discharged from the hospital or clinic. When he moves just like half dazed, half dodged, half sleeping stage. He is not perfectly well, rather he is somewhat well. So he is walking or she is walking towards the door very slowly, in dodging stage, in a half sleeping stage. The poet has compared the twigs, the cramped boughs, they are very suffering stage because they are completely unable to move perfectly towards the outside or to go outside of the house because the roof is there, the glass pans are there. So the leaves are straining themselves, taking or making lot of effort to go outside, but they're facing the glass panels of the house. The small twigs are steep, I mean very hard due to the excursion, due to heavy pressures, because they are also unable to move. Though they are taking lot of pressures, taking much more work, hard work to go outside because they are still not moving perfectly, so they are hard. The twigs means I have just told you the topmost part of the any branch. The long cramped boughs are also in a shuffling stage, shuffling because they are not moving perfectly due to the roof is there just ahead. So they are unable to move. They are moving just like a newly discharged patient. Very slowly they are moving sunken stage. I mean they are turning to right or left, not to our top. They are unable to move to the top. Rather the roof is there. So they are just turning to left or right till they are attempting to move forward, to go out of the house. They are walking how? They are walking just like a newly discharged patient from the clinic or the hospital, moving to the clinic doors. I mean, when they are walking from the medical or clinic bed, they are walking just like half dazed stage, half sleeping stage. All right, the roots walk. ରାତି ସାରା ଗଛର ସେଇ ଚେର ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଯାହାକି ବରଣ୍ଡା ଫାଙ୍କରେ ବାହାରି ଯିବା ପାଇଁ ରାତି ସାରା ଉଦ୍ୟମ କରି ଚାଲିଛନ୍ତି, ଡିସେନଗେଜ ଫ୍ରି ଦେମସେଲ୍ଫ ଫ୍ରମ୍ ଦ କ୍ରାକ୍ସ ଇନ୍ ଦ ବାରଣ୍ଡା। ବାରଣ୍ଡା ଫ୍ଲୋରରେ ଥିବା କ୍ରାକ୍ରେ ଏଇ ଫାଙ୍କ ଜାଗାରେ ବାହାରି ଯିବା ପାଇଁ ସେମାନେ ବହୁତ ଟ୍ରାଏଲ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ଦ ଲିଭ୍ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରେନ୍ ଟୁୱାର୍ଡସ୍ ଦ ଗ୍ଲାସ୍, ପତ୍ର ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ଗ୍ଲାସ୍ ପ୍ୟାନ୍ ଭିତରେ ମାଡ଼ ହେଇକି ମାଡ଼ ହେବା ପାଇଁ ଯିବା ପାଇଁ ସେପଟକୁ ପଳେଇ ଯିବା ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ଇଫର୍ଟ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ଷ୍ଟ୍ରେନ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ପ୍ରେସର ନେଉଛନ୍ତି। ସ୍ମଲ୍ ଟୁଇ ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ହାର୍ଡ ହେଇଗଲାଣି, ଶୋକମୂଳ ବ୍ରାଞ୍ଚ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଯାହାକି ଗୋଟେ ବ୍ରାଞ୍ଚ ଟପମୋଷ୍ଟ ପାର୍ଟ ସେ ବି ସଫ୍ଟ, ସେ କିନ୍ତୁ ପ୍ରେସର ପାଇକି ହେଭି ପ୍ରେସର ନେଉଛନ୍ତି, ସେମାନେ ମଧ୍ୟ ହାର୍ଡ ହେଇଛନ୍ତି। ବଡ଼ ବଡ଼ ବ୍ରାଞ୍ଚ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଲଙ୍ଗ କ୍ୟାମ୍ପଡ ବ୍ରାଞ୍ଚ, ବଡ଼ ବଡ଼ ବ୍ରାଞ୍ଚ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ସଫରିଂ ଅନ୍ ଦ ରୁଫ୍, ଛାତ ତଳେ ଜଷ୍ଟ ସ୍ଲୋଲି ମୁଭିଂ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, କାରଣ ଛାତ ପାଇଁ ସେମାନେ ଉପରକୁ ଉଠି ପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି, ତାଙ୍କର ବେକ ଯେମିତି ଭାଙ୍ଗି ଯାଉଛି, ସେମାନେ କୌଣସି ସାଇଟ୍କୁ ଆସ୍ତେ ଆସ୍ତେ ମୁଭ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ଯେମିତିକି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ଲିନିକ୍ରୁ ଗୋଟେ ପେସେଣ୍ଟ ଡିସଚାର୍ଜ ହେଉଛି, ମୁକ୍ତି ପାଉଛି ଯିବା ପାଇଁ ଘରକୁ, ଆଉ ସେ ଯେମିତି ଅଧା ନିଦ ଅଧା ଅବସ୍ଥାରେ ଯେମିତିକି କ୍ଲିନିକ୍ର ଡୋର ଆଡ଼କୁ ଯାଉଥାଏ ବହୁତ ପାଥେଟିକାଲି ବା ୱିକ୍ ଷ୍ଟେଜ୍ରେ ଯାଉଥାଏ, ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି ସେମିତି ଏଇ ବ୍ରାଞ୍ଚ ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ଆସ୍ତେ ଆସ୍ତେ ସେମିତି ମଧ୍ୟ ମୁଭ୍ କରିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଛନ୍ତି। I sit inside, the poet says, I mean the poet, I sit inside, doors open to the veranda. The poet is sitting of the house, in his house. I sit inside, doors open to the veranda. The doors of the house open to the veranda, directly the veranda is there, writing long letters. As if the poet says that he is writing a letter, or he was writing a letter, in which I scarcely mentioned the departure of the forest from the house. He scarcely mentioned the departure, I mean the returning of the trees from the house. In his long letter, he has just scarcely mentioned the departure, the returning of the trees from the house to the outside wall, I mean to the forest. The night is fresh, the whole moon shines. The poet is writing long letters where he just scarcely mentioned the departure of the trees to the outside, I mean to the outside of the house, to remain in the natural forest. During that period, what happens? The night air is very fresh. The whole moon is shining there in the sky, still open. The smell of leaves and lichens, the smell of leaves and lichens, the smell of the leaves and lichens, a type of flower from the tree. The smell of the leaves and lichens still reaches like the voice in the house, in the room. The poet, when he sits there and writes long letters, scarcely mentioning the departure of the trees to the outside. During that period, it seems to the poet that the night air is very fresh, the moon is shining outside, but the smell of the leaves and lichens are reaching to his house, to his room, as if they are calling. It's just like the voice, they are calling to the other trees. Maybe They are calling a voice as if a calling to the other tree to come out from the house and to remain the natural walls, natural outside in the forest, natural forest, to remain the part of the natural forest. The leaves, the smell of the leaves and lichens are reaching to the house. The poet feels like that these are not the smells, rather as if they are some extent a call, a call from the other outside trees to the trees in the inside to come as soon as possible there, not to remain in the home. कवि निजे घर में बस कि लेखालेखी कर कबाटी खोला अच्छे डोर्स ओपन टू द बरंडा बरंडा कबाटी खोला अच्छी गोटे लंग लेटर भी लिखुं जो कि सी कार्स मेंशन द डिपार्चर ऑफ द ट्रीज जोटे कि गछ मैंने रिटर्न कर जीवार पलि जीवार बहुत कम कथा से मेंशन कर द फॉरेस्ट फ्रॉम द हाउस से बेलू नाइट एयर मतलब फ्रेश अच्छी आकाश चंद्र मतलब सुंदर भाव शाइन कर द होल मून शाइन्स इन द स्काई ओपन ठीक से बेलू कि गचर पतर स्मेल और लिंचेन मे बी टाइप ऑफ फ्लावर से स्मेलटा घर भर को पशि आसूँ एमती किसी लगुच सत्य जमी से गछ बा लिंचेन स्मेल नुहे बा यहाँ हूँ गोटे कौन सत्य जमी से डाकर आसूँ गोटे भयस जमी रूम भर को पशि आसूँ डाकुची अदर ट्री मान को बोध हुए रिटर्न कर से नेचुरल फॉरेस्ट को My head is full of whispers. The poet in confusion stage. My head is full of whispers. There is something running in the mind of the poet. My head is full of whispers, which tomorrow will be silent. I mean, tomorrow there will be silence in the mind of the poet. I mean, very simply you can call it. There is something running in the mind of the poet, but it will end. It will be silent tomorrow. Listen, the glass is breaking. The poet imagines that. He makes us listen. The glass is breaking. I mean, the glass panes of the window, maybe the doors are breaking now. The trees are tumbling forward, moving forward. Tumbling means moving forward forcefully. The trees are tumbling forward in the night. They are moving from the outside of the house to go outside of the house. They are moving towards the forest. I mean, in the night, they are moving from the house to the outside house of the night. Winds rush in to meet them as if the glass panes are already broken. The winds rush into the house to meet the welcoming trees, to meet the trees welcoming. Trees come out from the house to remain the outside, I mean to be the natural part of the forest, I mean natural forest. When the glasses are broken, the trees go out and the winds rush into as if. The poet feels like that. The winds are rushing into to meet the the trees from the outside, from the house. Those are interested to go other tumbling forward to the outside. The moon is broken like mirrors. The poet also mentioned that the moon is broken like a mirror, as a mirror breaks and keeps many parts of the earth, but all are reflecting. Maybe a small part of the mirror be reflected, no doubt. So the poet says that a very good comparison here. The poet says that moon is broken like a mirror. The moon has been broken like that mirror. Its pieces flash now in the crown of the tallest oak tree. The tallest oak tree is there. As the poet says, the pieces flash now in the crown of the tallest oak tree. All the pieces of the broken mirror are flashing. Just think about the beautiful comparison is here. What does really the poet says here? Really, the moon never breaks, is not broken. But as the trees from the house are already in the outside, the moonlight, the flashes on all the leaves and branches of the tree. This is the comparison here. The moonbeams are just falling, being reflected on the trees and branches of all the trees there. On the branches of the leaves, I mean the leaves, the moon flashes on the leaves and the branches of all the trees, especially the latest oak tree is just like a crown. It flashes just like a crown. The broken mirror is nothing but the flashes on the various trees, I mean on the leaves of the trees are just like the broken mirror images are there. There is no broken moon is there. The flash or the beam of the moon are falling on, and being reflected on all the leaves of the trees, especially on the topmost oak tree. The branches of the topmost oak tree just like a crown. कवि निजे शुणुंट भांगी जाऊँगी ग्लास पैन गुड़ाक पल अफ फुल व्हिस्पर ता मुंडे कि गोटे चली कि चाहते यहाँ कि सका बंद हो कौन गोटे चली लिसन द ग्लास इज ब्रेकिंग आस्ते आस्ते ग्लास पैन गुड़ा भांगी जाऊँगी जमी द ट्रीज आर टम्बलिंग फरवर्ड गछ गुड़िक मारी चली इन द नाइट राति विंड्स रच इन टू मीट देम पवन माड़ी आसूँ घर भर को जेहेतु ग्लास पैन सब भांगी सारे पवन गुड़िक पवन आस्ते आस्ते माड़ी आसूँ घर भर को वेलकम करने घर चली जाऊा गछ मान जमी ठीक से से पुणी कहते मून खंड विखंडित हो पड़ी एवं फ्लाश पड़ी कौटी ना ओक ट्री टपमोस्ट ब्रांच एक्चुअली मून ही भांगी ना मून रिफ्लेक्टेड होपर से नुआ भाव में गढ़ी उठी नुआ जंगल फरेस्टर सब गछ मून लाउट रिफ्लेक्टेड होते जमी गोटे ब्रोकन मिरर मिरर भांगी पीस पीस हो जाए जिते छोट हेल्ले भी रिफ्लेक्ट कर ठीक से भाई मून बीम फ्लाश होपर सब पत्र जस्ट लाइक द ब्रोकन मिरर द पोएट हैज कंपेयर्ड लाइक दैट द मून इज ब्रोकन and flashes upon. Actually the moon never breaks. The flash, the beam of the moon being reflected on all the leaves of the tree is the broken mirror compared here, because all the trees are now outside. There are no trees inside the house now, all are outside of the house. So the moon beam falls or flashes and being reflected on all the leaves of the trees, especially on the topmost branches, just falls like reflected like the crown of the oak tree. Thank you, students. The poem is also over. Those who are in doubt, please ask me through the comment box and I will try to respond to you. Those who still have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel as soon as possible and must touch the bell icon that you can get all the videos I will release and publish. Thank you, students.